Oh, it's all gonna crumble out of there, look. Look at that. That is sensational. Hi everyone, welcome to Backyard Chef. I'm Rick. Today we are making a really fantastic pudding everybody can make at home, and even with the kids. It's a simple, easy recipe to make. Now I'm using a selection of fruit. I'm using apple and pears, but you can make this with just apple. Now what makes this a fantastic dish? It's a baked apple and pear Charlotte. Sounds posh, looks posh, but it's easy to make and quick to make too, actually. The good thing about this recipe today is I'm using everything that I got from the store, the supermarket, reduced. I am not fooling. This is how to make a fantastic pudding. Okay? A real high quality pudding on your table at home with reduced product. Now I'm not ashamed to look for reduced ingredients. A lot of people turn their nose up and walk away. Why? Okay, I've got a selection of apples here. They're eating apples, so that means less sugar in the pie. It doesn't matter. You know, you don't have to be a Bramley or a cooking apple or whatever. You can use any ingredient. Come on. You know, you just put less sugar in if you're using a sweet apple. I've got pears. I've got a lemon. Okay, it's a bit soft, but we only want the juice. This whole table of ingredients to make this pudding costs £1.25. That is it. In dollars, that's $1.58. And I'm going to show you how to make a fantastic pudding. I'm using the air fryer oven, which makes it even more economical. Obviously, they don't take much to warm up, don't take much to cook. So, you know, it's a good option. You can use any air fryer at home, or you use your regular oven. Enough of the talking. Okay, we'll crack on, we'll make this, show you how easy it is. And we're not going to make it a chefy way, we'll just crack on and make it. I will be using this tin today. It's a springform tin, and I have absolutely no idea what size it is. It is a 7-inch tin. So we'll be using a 7-inch springform tin. Let's crack on and do it. Right, in this bowl, I have some water, a little bit of water. All I'm going to do is peel the fruit and put it in the water so it's submerged. It's nice and steady. Don't get hung up on anything. Now what you can do, you can squirt some lemon juice in there to stop the fruit from browning. So we actually want lemon juice, but we'll put some lemon juice in there as well. So this is how to use up ingredients cheaply. Okay, we want some lemon juice. I'm not going to bother with the juicer. I've just got a spoon, and all I'm going to do is squeeze that juice into there, and then we'll just take the pips out. Let's not get stressed over it. So you just put your spoon in and just twist round, and you get the juice. It's as easy as that. There's probably going to be enough juice there actually, just with this half a lemon. So this lemon costs 10p, so that's 5p worth of lemon. What a bargain. Give it a little squeeze, you get more out of there if you want. That I'm going to put in the fridge for another recipe. Okay, so I need lemon juice in my mix, but as you can see, I'm just going to put a little bit of lemon in there, and then all we're going to do is core and peel, or peel and core, whichever way you want to call it, our pears and our apples. So it's nice and straightforward. Oh, these are quite firm actually, quite lucky here. So these are pears. They're Asian pears, but you can use any pears, it doesn't matter. It's a pear. So just peel it off any which way you like. You know, you can use a peeler or just go around with a knife. Let's not make a drama out of it, you know. Just come in there, half it out. We don't want that core. So just take it out of there. We don't want that. We want to slice this. So it's nice and steady away. Just slice it, and we want some reasonable, but you can cube as well, don't get me wrong. So we got some slices, and we're just going to put in that water. So it's nice and straightforward, look, in that water. And we're going to do that with all our fruit. We're going to take off the apple skins. And these are slightly bruised, look. But that doesn't matter. Cut the bruise out. Who the heck is going to notice when it's in a pie? So that bruise we don't want on there. Gone. We've got a perfect apple. Same again, look. Just and in that water. So I'm going to crack on and do all my fruit, and then we'll get on to the next stage. So there we have it then. We've got a fantastic bowl full of fruit there. Just put to one side. The most important job of this, we're making our pastry, if you like. Now, obviously it's not pastry, and this is why it's so easy to make and so good for the kids to get involved. We want some sliced bread. Now this is very old, 3 days old bread, cheap at the supermarket. We don't want all the crusts on this one, so we're going to have to take the crusts off. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, this looks like it's split into 4, so we're going to come in there, nice and steady. That's good dry bread, look, perfect. What we don't want is that crust on there. Now you can take it all off or a little bit off. Up to you. We don't want that crust, and we don't want any of the crust this time. So we just come in and we whip off the crust. So we end up with a block of bread. Do that with all your bread. There we have it. Blocks of bread, no crusts on there. Straightforward, we want to slice this. Now that's our tin. We want some slices of bread in there. The bread forms the crust on our pudding. Now I am going to come in there about yay thick. That's quite a bit thicker actually. Not to worry. Come in here. Now what I will point out, it does not have to be a crusty loaf. It can be a loaf of sliced bread. Don't get hung up on it. Just take the crusts off and you've still got sliced bread. We want some butter. And this is where it becomes so easy. We just butter our bread. Just butter the slice of bread. Now, you know, you see all sorts of people in the restaurants and stuff. They melt a whole pan of butter and then they start dipping it in. Come on, we're at home. Nice bit of butter on there. Let's not make a big drama out of making a simple, delicious pudding. Butter up your bread. Now, of course, if you don't have butter, it works with margarine. It doesn't matter. Use whatever you have in whatever country that you're in. You know, I realise people can't get hold of butter in some countries. I've lived in those countries, So just make it the best way you can. And let everybody moan about, oh, you can't use margarine. Okay, there's a whole lump of buttered bread there. Okay, grab yourself a pan. All our lovely fruit in there with that little bit of water and lemon that we already had that soaking in. Flame on. Start to reduce it, cook it down. Now we're not going to go bananas, okay? We're not going to make it into complete mush. We want to cook it down because it's going to go in the oven for 20 minutes. Okay, so now is the perfect time and the opportunity to try your apples. Now there are a couple of different eating apples that we use in here. Try them to see how sour they are. Right. They're not very sour, so we're not going to go in there with much sugar. We want a little bit of sugar in because we're making an apple pie dessert. So I'm going to go in with about 1 tablespoon only. Now the sugar content is entirely up to you. You put in whatever you feel. And I'm going in there with some salt. Now salt is optional. You don't have to put salt in if you don't use it, but salt draws out all that sweetness in there on our taste buds. Now in good old-fashioned English recipes, we're going to go in there with some mixed spice. Recipe in the ingredient list, same as pumpkin spice in the US, across the pond. So let's give that a stirring in there. Okay, in our pan of fruit with some butter. Couple of little bits of butter in there. Give it a little stir in. Gives that extra buttery flavour. Delish. Now you can go in there with some more lemon juice if you so wish, if you want that little bit of a citrusy sourness in there. But you know the water that we use already does carry the lemon. So, but if we're just gonna, just for show, you can put in as much as you wish. That is up to you. You know, just get your spoon in, give it a taste test. See what you like. The only thing I am going to do, I'm going to change tins. I'm going to change tins from that one to an 8-inch tin, okay? I've got an 8-inch tin here instead, because there's quite a lot of apples and there's a lot of bread. So it's going to make a nice pudding. I'll keep both out on standby, and we'll see what happens when this actually reduces a little bit. Now this is one of those recipes which is so easy to adapt. You know, you can use the apples in there, you can throw in some mixed berries, you know, you could have apple and blackberry. Just change it up, do whatever you want, that's up to you. You know, you could add a jam. This is homemade marmalade. Let's go in there with some marmalade. You can go in with apricot jam, you can go in with blackberry jam. It doesn't matter. You change up your pudding ingredients to suit yourself. You know, cooking is not about being hung up on some recipe. All my recipes say, taste and adjust. Put in what you like. We don't all like the same. Okay, I've made a decision looking at this and the bread. And I'm going to go for the 8-inch tin. So it depends how much fruit you have, okay? But I am going to butter out that tin. Just get some butter, run it all the way around the sides and onto the bottom of the tin. That's going to help it not stick. It could stick quite easily, don't get me wrong, but using a springform tin is a sort of a fail-safe way of cooking. you know, you can run a knife round if you think it's stuck, and then the tin will open. It's as easy as that. Don't fret. This is corn flour, about a tablespoon of corn flour, and we're just going to go in there with about a tablespoon of water, just a guess. Give it a little mix up, and we're going to add that to our apple mixture. That's going to give us a nice little gloopy sauce inside. You don't have to do it, you could just put the apples in if you want. So let's tip that in there. Let's start cooking that in there with that. Should thicken up quite nicely into a nice thick gloopy sauce. Keep cooking, it'll keep thickening. All you've got to do is keep stirring. Make sure nothing sticks on the bottom. Okay, that's good enough for me. I don't want to go any more than that. I want some of that texture in there. You know, it's still going to cook in there in the oven. So that's it. We need to take that off, and we need to let that cool down a little minute while we assemble our Charlotte. Right, the assembly of this Charlotte can't be any easier. This is what makes it a fantastic pudding, you know, for big kids and little kids alone. All we're going to do is put the butter side down, or to the side, or to the top. The butter is going to be crisped up over the top and soaked into the bread. It's as easy as that. Now, it's simple to do. We need to put a lining on the bottom first. So all you do is get some bread. It doesn't matter how you do it. You put it on like that. So we got about 4 slices of bread there, look. Something like that. Squash it down. That is our pastry base. It's as easy as that. You know, don't get hung up on this. Squash it in there. That is our base. Now, if you wanted to be really posh, you would cut these and you would lay them over in fact, we will. What we'll do is we'll just cut a couple of these for show. I'm not really all that bothered about poshness these days. To layer up then, you want your bread. Now you can angle it, you can do what you want. So if you angle it like that, you're going to have angled design inside. Don't forget, it's always butter to the tin. So just do it like that, nice and steady. So what we're trying to do is we're putting some bread down into the bottom. That's forming the seal with the crust, and then we're just bringing it up the side, but we're squashing it in to overlap. As you can see, put that down there, so you squash that down onto the base, you overlap your bread, and you squash it together. That is it. So that is it. That is it basically. That's our pudding sides, and then we're going to keep this for the top. Now you could have poshed up the top as well if you wanted. You could have put all little triangles going in, and you could have cut a round. I'll leave that to you. Right, we want a tray. That goes on our tray, and we add our mix in there. Straight in, straight all in there. Don't worry about it. Get it in. What you can do is cut this. You could actually make it quite posh. Just come in there, cut it in half. Like that. And overlap it. And then just bring that in there like that. Fold it over the top and squash it down. It doesn't matter. Just squash it in like that. Oven on to preheat. I'm going to hit the temperature 180. 180 will do. Preheat. Optional step, you don't have to do this in any way. A little bit of sugar on the top. Okay, that's had a couple of minutes. Let's get that in the oven. Straight in there then. And we want to be hitting the time for 25 minutes. That's it, job done. Okay, with this dish, you have to be a little bit careful. It's starting to nice and brown over the top, but we need to have the brown sides and bottom. Now, essentially, what you're doing, you're actually cooking toast, you know, at the end of the day. And obviously, it's not a pastry. Bread is lighter. So what we have to do is keep an eye on it. And we might have to put some tin foil over the top for possibly a good 15 minutes of the job, and then let it brown up again. So we have that fantastic top on there, look, already. But there's no way that the inside, the sides and the bottom are going to be cooked. So we are going to cover it. And just let it keep cooking in there for possibly, well, we've got 17 minutes, so that'll be enough to cook that in there. What we'll do, we'll give it probably 14 minutes, take the top off and let that top just brown a little bit more, and that will be our Charlotte made. Okay, we've got about 3 minutes on there, look. So we want to be taking that off. I can smell it cooking. It smells unbelievable, really tremendous. So let's have that off there and let's put that back in. Let's have that 3 minutes on there. We'll have a look at it, you know, and if it's not quite browned enough, we know the sides and everything are going to be cooked. We know the interior's cooked. We don't want to brown it too much so it blackens like black toast. But, you know, if it browns over and it's not quite brown enough, just give it an extra minute. And whatever you do, don't throw your tin foil away. It can be used many times. Okay, we've had enough there, look. I'm going to turn it off and we're going to bring it out. And there we have it. That is baked pear and apple shallot made. We've got a lovely crusty top on there. So we'll let it cool down a little minute. Probably going to give it 5-10 minutes actually. After 10 minutes we're going to take the ring off and let's have a look. Smells amazing. You've got that buttery apple smell everywhere. Okay, so this has cooled down a little bit on here, you know. What we need to do is take that off there. We have to get that ring off. Let's see if it comes off. Okay, so we're just going to take that there. So what we're hoping for, before I spring this out and it goes all over the place, don't forget we overlap the bread. We're hoping it's stuck together. So let's pop that off there. Oh, we're stuck at this end, look. In there with a knife. That is sensational. So it was stuck a little bit. You saw we had to run a knife round, but that doesn't matter. Look at that. So quickly then, like I say, I'm actually going to put this on a plate because I anticipate it all spewing out of the sides. So we'll have that off there nice and gently onto there. So there you go. That's baked pear and apple shallot made. So I think in the interest of the video, whether it's set up or not, we're going to get into it and give it a taste test. You know me, I can't wait. Now I think it's all going to flop out because it's a loose mixture inside, but we'll see, won't we? Come on, let's get in here. Oh, we're coming through the fruit there. I can feel it going through the fruit. We're coming in here. Oh, it's all going to crumble out of there, look. Look at that. That is sensational. Just look at that. All the apples falling out there, look. Oh, that is bread and not pastry. That is baked apple and pear shallot made. Oh, and drizzle on what you want, whether you want ice cream, cream, anything. Oh, come on. Baked apple and pear, you can't go wrong. And that is our bread. Look how fantastic that is. Oh, that is incredible. That is a fantastic sweet, family sweet. Look at the size of the thing. The apples still have a crunch. It is fantastic. What a dessert. Cheap family pudding, cooked in the air fryer, even cheaper. If you like what we're doing, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe. Share with your friends, all that kind of stuff. Catch you in the next video.